you are, would anything ever change that? If all of a sudden you found out that your parents weren't really your parents, that someone else was, would that change the way you see yourself? My name is Samantha Stinley, and I'm going to talk to you today about adoption. The reason I am is because my best friend in the world found out last year that he was adopted. And I've been trying to help him find his birth parents ever since, which is actually turning out to be really difficult. And while adoption is a great thing, many people don't realize that there's more to it than just birth parents have to pick a family. There's a lot more involved. They have to choose between either working with an open adoption or a closed adoption. And so today I'm going to explain what an open adoption is and what a closed adoption is, and I'm also going to give you a little bit of insight into two different cases of each. And that. According to Marion Barry, a professor at Princeton University, an open adoption is an adoption that often allows an ongoing relationship and communication among the birth parents, the adoptive parents, and the adoptee. With that, there's also it's actually split into two groups with open adoption. There's a fully open adoption, which is a lot of times grandparents of the birth family, siblings, aunts, uncles are also allowed to have communication or actual interaction with the child that has been placed up for adoption. And then there's also a semi-open adoption, which means that siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents will have absolutely no contact with the child. It will be strictly limited to the birth parents and that. And usually they are given updates of new pictures about once a month minimum. Sometimes they can be longer, just depends on the contract that is drawn up by the lawyers. And I actually got to interview a young lady who placed her daughter up for an open adoption. And she explained to me that the main reason why she did that was because she couldn't afford the medical costs for her daughter. The little girl on the far left, that's Emma. She's 4 years old now. And then the other picture is of, on both sides of Emma are her other adopted siblings. And the baby that she's actually playing with is her new baby sister. And she was actually very lucky and got adopted into a family that could afford the medical costs that she had because she had extensive health problems. Not very many people get this option. And when I asked Mary why she chose an open adoption, she said simply, I want to know what happens to my child. I may not be able to care for her, but I want to know what happens to her. And a professor at the University of Rhode Island, Irving Leon, describes closed adoption as pretty straightforward. It pretty much means that once you sign over your rights, you won't have any contact or interaction of any kind with the adoptive family or the child. So that's pretty straightforward. It doesn't need much explaining. I mean, my friend Luke, the one that I discussed in my introduction, found out that he was adopted last year. And he's actually been trying to find his family. The only thing that he knows or has to work with is the name of his adopted mother. It's all he's found in the last year that she actually was from New York. She's not there now, but she was from there. So he's trying to work with all that information. And I want to know, can you guys tell, out of the three gentlemen, which one I'm talking about? The one on the far left with the shaggy beard holding the little young man, he's actually adopted. And his brother is on the far right, and that's his dad in the background. He's always been extremely close to his family. And since this, he has had very little contact with either his mother or his father. He still talks to his brother all the time. But he felt so abandoned and angry because he didn't find out from his parents. He found out from a doctor because his son got sick and they tested him and his other family members for that disease. And that's how he found out he was adopted. And I asked him if he honestly if it means that much to him. And he told me that, yeah, it does. I mean, he said that if he would have found out from his parents, it wouldn't have hurt so much. But the fact that they hid it from him made it really hard for him, and he's having a very difficult time getting over it. I hope that you guys now understand that there's more to adoption than just picking a family. It's a really hard process for everyone involved. The birth parents have to decide if they want to be able to know more about their child, or if they just want everything closed off, they don't have to know anything. Or if they want to just break the bonds and not have to worry about, okay, did I do the right thing? Did I screw up? I shouldn't give up my child. I mean, anyone could face this problem. I mean, one day you could find out that you were adopted. You never really know. I mean, your family is still your family no matter what, but you have to think, would it change your perspective? Thank you so much for your time.